Hey folks, Dave here. Let's talk about mental health, shall we? Um, a while ago, I was diagnosed with moderate to severe depression, and it's been something I've been battling with for quite some time. The story is long and varied. I'm getting medication, and for the most part, things are going pretty good. But every once in a while, that beast of depression just comes in and just takes a hold of me and says, "You're not doing anything. You're just going to sit on that couch and you're done." And over the holidays, I started feeling that beast lurking in the background. And there's really only a couple things you can do if you feel that beast to call in. First off, is to get help if you need it. Talk to a doctor, talk to a friend, talk to your parents, talk to whoever. Get help. Help is available. In my case, I've received help. It's just a matter of going through the process of trying to get better. And that's what I've been kind of doing. The first step of that is to just rest. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. You may notice that there's not been a video released in a while. And that's because I've just been resting and just trying to get back my energy and get back my creative mojo. And after that, it's time to start getting back in the saddle and creating something new again. And that is what this video is about, is creating something new, something small, something tangible, and just grabbing it and going with it. So a few videos ago, I was approached by Mammoth Studios, hashtag not a sponsor. They were doing a Kickstarter and they wanted to, they offered me a model to work on. So that was that giant Eaton that I thought turned out really well. So they also sent me a bunch of other models to choose from. And the other one that caught my eye was this Warg and his Rider. A Warg is kind of like a big rideable wolf. Think like a horse, but a wolf, and an orc rider that'll be riding on top of them. So this project is just going to be very simple. It's just designed to kind of give me something familiar to work with and kind of get used to creating again, and hopefully that'll kick that demon of depression back into the hellspawn from which it came and get my mojo flowing again. So I am going to start painting up these figures, then create some sort of diorama for it, light it up, take some photos, do my photography thing, and hopefully that will be enough to slay the beast. So let's jump in. All right, we have a painted figure right here of an orc and his Warg Rider. I think it looks pretty good. The model's a little smaller than I kind of I've grown to like. Usually a bigger model equals more detail and easier to paint. This one's fairly small in the grand scheme of things. The question now is, what landscape am I going to put this guy in? And I think I'm going to steal a page from The Two Towers. If you recall, in The Two Towers, where you see the Warg Riders, it's in this really rough field area with a bunch of rocks sticking out in various places. And I think I'm just going to build one of those and have this guy kind of jumping, loping, I think is the term for a wolf, loping through the scene, looking all badass and orcish. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is the piece of foam I'm going to use as my base. The orc's going to sit on here. Because this is going to end up being a photo, the first thing I need to do is block out kind of a scene and figure out exactly where I want those hills and valleys to fall. So I'm off to my camera studio to map that out, and I'll be back here to build a diorama. Let's get to it. All right, one barren landscape ready to go, and I think it looks kind of okay. When I got the Warg Rider on here, I think it's going to look really good in the camera. All you got to really do now is figure out some sort of way to keep him, this rider, mounted, probably using a wire, so he's still in that kind of mid-air, loping, jumping at you pose. But I can figure that out when I start getting in front of the camera. I tried a new technique for me called flocking, which is how you get this model grass looking effect using a static applicator, and it didn't work out very well for me. I'm not sure why. It's probably user error. I think I might need the external power adapter for my static flocker here. So I got that in order. Give that a try. It's also been super humid in here, and it works by creating like a static field, and humidity is going to make that not work so well. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'll play around with that, try to improve my technique. But for now, I think this is good enough to sell on camera, and that's good enough for me. So what I need to do now is get this rig wired up and then put in front of my lights and see if we can start making some photo magic. So let's get to it. So let me show you some of the thought process that I go through as I actually photograph an image. First of all, I have the diorama here set up with the Warg Rider, and I used wires that I stuck into the foam and wrapped it around the figure to hold him up so he's in that loping pose. And then I picked this background. And the reason why I picked this background is it had a dramatic, stormy quality to it that I like, but it also has this bright, shiny spot where the sun is coming through. And that's going to allow me to have a place where I can put in some light rays in post and give this image much more atmosphere. Now, the last thing to do is to actually light this image. And the way I do that is not by just pointing some lights at it. I do a thing that I call selective lighting. And what that is I use a light on a stick, like this LumeCube panel on a Platypod gooseneck here. And I use this to selectively place the light where I need it with the master light off. I can take all those photos with all the lights in all the right places and combine it in Photoshop. And the reason why I do that is big lights like this have a lot of light spill that it's very hard to light the figure exactly the way I want it because the light is so much bigger than the figure is. So by adding a bunch of photos taken where each little section is lit exactly the way I want it, I can combine it all in Photoshop and then get the perfect light for the shot that I need without doing an incredible amount of fine tuning of all the lights. So I'm going to start taking some photos here and get all the shots that I need, and then I'll run them over to Photoshop and finish off this photo. So let's get to it. There you go, one project complete. It was kind of a drag at times. Mental health issues are no joke, but I think I managed to get through okay and came up with something decent. Certainly it got the creative juices flowing, and hopefully I can keep that motivation going onto the next project. And when I do finish that project, check it out here and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.